Okay, in this video we're going to show you voice controls on Android and iOS. Now currently the latest version of Android as of filming this video is Android Gingerbread, or at least on phones, that is. Ice Cream Sandwich was just announced recently, but it's not currently available commercially on any cell phone. So this is the latest version of Android, and over here you have an iPhone 4S, which runs the latest version of iOS, which is iOS 5. So we're going to compare the voice controls on both of these devices, and you'll see that it's a different approach to the same problem, and you're going to have advantages on each platform. So the way you interact with your phone, if you use an Android phone, you want to go to your search button. Now it's one of your 4 characteristic Android buttons. So you'd click on the search button and it brings up a Google search. And up here is your microphone button. Over here on iOS, you just hold down your home button and it brings up Siri, which is Apple's solution to voice control. So we're going to bring up Siri and then we're going to ask both phones the same questions and see what comes up. What's 50 divided by 5? 50 divided by 5 is 10.
This might answer your question.
And then you have 50 divided by 5 is 10. Now, Google brings up a Google search, and you see it up there at the top. Apple accesses Wolfram Alpha. So you get a lot of data when you bring up something like this. And as you noticed, the Google search was almost instantaneous. Over here, there was a little bit of a lag between your information. Now, in this situation, I prefer Android because it's quick, you get your information, and you're done. Over here on iOS, there was a little bit of a lag, and it gives you a readout here. So you'll find that in some instances, Siri's going to talk to you, and you're going to have a conversation with the phone, and it's going to actually tell you information that you need. In this situation, you would still need to look at the phone, and it was slower. Let's try some more. How many Japanese yen are in $1?
Let me think.
You already have your result over here.
This might answer your question.
Same answer, 76.75, and it says 76.79 over here. Actually a little bit different answer here. I don't know which one is correct, as you can see here on the Google search. And then over here, a little bit different answer. Interesting. But Android was quicker. Set an alarm for 1 p.m.
It's set for 1 p.m.
So Siri sets the alarm for you straight up. Over here on Android, it says set an alarm. In order to use this feature, download a clock application which supports this action from the Android market. So you can do the same, but you need some sort of third-party clock widget or clock application. So in this case, Siri is more integrated and a little bit more useful in situations like this. What's the weather forecast?
Here's the weather for today through this Wednesday.
Okay, so Android was quicker than was Siri. So over here on Android you get a Google search, and over here you just get a weather widget that pops up, pretty much giving you the same information. The only thing that's a little bit more interesting over here on Android is that you have a slider bar over here which you can slide to a desired time, and it'll tell you what the forecast for that time is. So over here, it's a little bit more deeper information that you get on an Android search for that. Set an appointment for 3 o'clock on October 31st.
Okay, I set up your appointment for October 31st, 2011. Are you ready for me to schedule it?
Yes.
Okay, it's on your calendar for October 31st, 2011.
So as you can see here, I was actually able to set up an appointment on here just strictly through voice commands. Over here, it pretty much just brought up a Google search. So it's more useful here on Siri. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the conversations that you have with the phone. You have to wait for it to generate a response and then speak it to you. As you saw there, it said, do you want to confirm this? And I had to wait until it was ready for me to say something, and then I could say yes. So that is much more useful over here, but I think it needs a little more polish in that it should be able to, listen to you right off the bat. I know that might be difficult because it can't listen and speak at the same time. But a little bit slower than I'd like over here, but definitely more useful than over here on Android. How's the NASDAQ doing today?
I don't see any meetings about NASDAQ doing today.
All right, let's try this again. How'd the NASDAQ close today?
NASDAQ Composite went down just a little yesterday to 2,599.
So here you go. I asked over here how the NASDAQ closed today, and it gave me a Google search. Over here it actually gave me specific information. So a little bit more useful over here. Navigate to Empire State Building.
I found 5 places matching Empire State Building. Tap the one you want directions to.
So over here on Android, much more useful because Google is known for their navigation software and Google Maps. Over here you select where you want to go.
Directions to Empire State Building.
And you actually get turn-by-turn directions over here, even though I have it blocked out because it shows my current residence, and I don't want that out on the internet. But over here you get your turn-by-turn. Over here you basically get directions. So Android is more useful in this situation than is iOS. Send text message to me.
To whom shall I send it? I need a contact name, phone number, or email address.
Me.
To whom shall I send it? I need a contact name, phone number, or email address.
Now I have me listed in the contacts of both phones because I have another phone. It didn't pick it up, and that's understandable. Neither phone picked it up. It's understandable that it didn't because me really isn't considered a name. It's more considered probably a noun. So it's understandable that it didn't pick it up. But typically you could say send a message, send a text, and it would pick up who you want to send it to, and then in the body of the message it already brought up here to me, and there was no body of this message here. So pretty much if you had a name on both of them, I would say that they would perform comparably. So you can basically dictate a text message or even an email if you want on both phones, and I would probably rate them both equally useful in that situation. What time is it in Tokyo, Japan?
The time in Tokyo, Japan is 1:23 p.m.
Okay, now that one brought it up pretty comparably. This one was quick and it spoke it out pretty quick. Over here it brought up the Google search right out of the gate. The only thing that you might find a little bit more useful is that this actually spoke the time. So if you find that more useful, then the iPhone might have an edge in that situation. But they were both lightning fast. How many calories are in a Big Mac?
Checking my sources.
This brought up a Google search,
Okay, here goes.
and this brought up Wolfram Alpha. So you get your information here in this little computer readout here. Over here, the Google search brought up web pages. So you would have to dive a little bit deeper, click on here, and then it would bring up Big Mac nutrition information. So again, two different approaches. This one was quicker to bring up the search. This one brought up the actual information later. So probably a wash on this one because you'd have to dive a little bit deeper. You'd have to click on the first Google search here to get the information. all the while that this was pulling up the information. So, you know, whatever you prefer, whatever you think's more useful, I would consider that a wash because probably takes the same amount of time on both devices. How many days until Halloween?
I'm on it. I found this for you.
Okay. Again, you have the information here. It brought up, it says 11 days, which actually it's probably 10 days because it's already after midnight. But over here it brought up a Google search, and you got to dive deeper. And let's see what this brings up here. Brings up a web page, and days until Halloween. This one says 10. So it's a little more accurate here, but again, same situation. It took longer for this to bring it up, but it actually brought you to your information. This was quicker, but you had to take another step there. So in closing, that's a taste of voice commands on both devices here. Definitely useful in both cases. In certain ways, the Android solution is quicker, and in certain ways, the iOS solution is more integrated. So what do you think? Which do you prefer? Do you even talk to your phone? Do you not like talking to your phone? Do you like talking to your phone? Let me know. Put it in the comments down below. So that pretty much does it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.